don't get scammed. That's an easy thing to say, right? But some of these sites and some of these unscrupulous people are trickier than ever and have the ability to make things seem super legit. Right now, in the midst of the Joann going out of business, bankruptcy, I want to just touch on some of the scams you might run into. It is absolutely crazy that some of these fake sites are able to mimic the look of Joann's website so well. A friend of mine sent me some photos that she was getting from ads, and she followed a link for me, and she just wanted me to check it out. She didn't end up ordering anything, and I think we're both really glad she didn't. I feel like I'm always kind of a skeptic, but I feel like these different scammy sites are really preying on people when they feel vulnerable and susceptible, and a lot of people are really freaked out that they're not going to be able to get their favorite yarns. And I think that because of this, unethical people will try to capitalize on that aspect. And it is unfortunate. And I think it's just something we need to protect ourselves from. So first and foremost, I think it is good to keep things in perspective that as much as we all love Joann, it is just a store. And, as much as we might love Big Twist yarn, it is just a yarn. And there are other stores and other yarns out there. So we will get through this for sure. The second, since this company is having a bankruptcy and they are so far in debt, they are needing to sell things, but they aren't really selling things super cheap. Not at this point anyway. I mean, I think it's possible that some of the stuff in stores might end up in time getting marked down really low, just like the random weird stuff that's still there and maybe isn't super desirable. That stuff may end up getting marked down, but the reality is the Joann stores have been very busy. The one I went to was absolutely packed and people were buying tons of stuff, even though their liquidation price was higher than a lot of the sale prices that they were having. But I think people just wanted to get what they wanted before it became unavailable. So the stores were packed, and I'm going to go ahead and put up a picture over here that my friend had taken of this Joann website where they had this basically $400 sewing machine marked down to $40, and 90% off. Like at this point, they don't have anything that cheap. So that's a real red flag right there. If the prices are really, really spectacular, that it is not a real legitimate Joann site. And when my friend was kind of poking around and snooping around the site, she said that the yarns were on there real cheap as well. So again, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, because in stores and online, the most I think anything is even marked down at this point is 40% off. So 90% off of a desirable item it's just not happening yet. And what I want you to take a notice of, because she said the issue was once she clicked on this, then her Facebook feed became inundated with ads from this spammy company. So I'm going to go ahead and overlay, and I'll zoom in on like the URL from this, and you notice it is not Joann.com. It's not JoannFabric.com or whatever their official site is. It is like weird. You notice there's a hyphen between the Joe and the Ann, and it is just odd. So yeah, stay away from any weird URLs. They are not going to be setting up separate liquidation sites at this point. That is just not happening. So if you see that, that is a red flag. And I think it creates this sense of urgency, and even like a rational human being, when you're faced with the object of like, you really like something, it's going to become unavailable and it, and then here is someone offering it at a great deal, and it creates that panic and that urgency. It's easy even for intelligent, logical people to, fall prey to that. And that is what these type of sites are counting on. Now, I don't know, because I'm not going to just waste money and order something, because I don't know if it is just to steal your credit card information, or if it's something where my guess is that they will send you a product, but it's probably like a cheap knockoff type version of an item that is probably drop shipped from somewhere like Alibaba. I think you would probably get something shipped to you, but it would not be the item that you think that you're ordering. And these companies probably are not US based, or even if they are, it's going to pop up and then shut down so fast that there probably won't be much way for you to have any recourse. It might even say something on their website about, all sales final. And you think, oh, well, that makes sense because the store is going out of business, when in fact it's because they're sending you like some weird crappy product instead of the thing you think you're ordering. Which brings me to kind of the next thing I want to touch on, in that it is possible that after the store closes, there might be other sites popping up claiming to have Big Twist yarn. And just keep in mind that Big Twist is a private labeled brand by Joann stores. So Big Twist isn't like a separate brand that you can buy in different stores. It's just a Joann house brand, like their generic version. If you find a website that is selling Big Twist and it really is Big Twist, it's probably someone who just bought tons and tons of it and is reselling it, and it is not like a new source for Big Twist. So be cautious about that. My guess again is if you find a website and it is promising you Big Twist yarn, that it's probably not Big Twist. It is again probably something where you're getting another drop shipped type of product from a source like Alibaba, and it's not really Big Twist. So really, pay attention to that, be discerning. And companies like that don't have like morals and ethics, they aren't putting the real pictures of the item on there. They have no qualms about stealing an image from the Joann's website, putting it on their website, because yeah, they're like stealing your money. So they don't care. Now, the next thing I want to touch on is buying Big Twist on, like, I would call it the secondary market. So that's going to be if you are buying Twist off of like eBay, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, any place like that, a resale type. Generally it's probably a real person and is probably from their stash, or they went and bought a ton of it on sale and with the intent of unloading it after the fact. So again, use discretion, I think, is important. Keep things in perspective. I think that you will see when this does happen and the Joann stores are officially closed and there isn't a supply of Big Twist yarn, I feel like it is plausible you will have people putting up their Big Twist at very, very inflated prices. Now, this is supply and demand. So I get it. I totally get it. If there is a very limited supply and a high demand, you can charge a lot for something. That's how that works. But I think this is a good time to, really keep things in perspective, that I love yarn as much as everybody, don't get me wrong, but it is just yarn. As much as it would bum me out if I had to frog a blanket or a sweater or something that I just didn't have enough of that yarn to do, it would definitely bum me out. I would probably be pretty snippy about it. I'd be salty for sure. For me, it would not be worth getting on eBay and paying, $20 for a $2.79 skein of Big Twist value, which it really would not surprise me if you do see resellers attempting this. I feel like it's going to happen. And if we panic and we buy things from people charging these prices, they will continue to charge them. So I feel like in time, even if that secondary market, even if resellers are pricing their Big Twist really high, high. If people aren't interested in spending that kind of money, the prices will come down, because eventually in 6 months or a year or 2 years, they're not going to want to have that on hand anymore. They're going to want to move it, and they're going to be willing to sell it at a decent price. So keep that in mind. I really, really want to urge you to not panic buy after the fact and buy from somewhere where, it could end up costing you a lot of money and you don't end up getting what you want, or you get what you want, but you just paid, 10 times more than the manufacturer's price for it. I would encourage you to, if you are looking, for starters, if you know other crocheter or knitters, ask around. Be like, are you looking for any big twist that I might have? What do you have? Is there a big twist you're not using? I would honestly start with my friends first and just kind of take it from there. Next, I would probably check kind of my local Facebook marketplace and just kind of look there. If I was going to a reseller site, I would definitely look for someone who, definitely has good ratings and good reviews. Probably not someone who is brand new and just started up. I would also probably look for someone who is selling other yarn, like mystery boxes or, other things like that. Not just someone who has random closeouts. More than likely they're not a yarn person. They're someone just looking to get maximum profit for something they purchased for cheap. So I would really look for it to be someone who already has yarn sales and is, verified, like they have good reviews and are trustworthy. And if it was a little more expensive, then I would probably be willing to do it if I felt as though I really needed it to finish a project. But I definitely wouldn't just buy it to buy it like that. But that's just me. And I know this could sound super cliche, and I don't want it to be cheesy, but I'm like, we do need to keep things in perspective. And when one door closes, another one opens. And it is possible that this could be a sign, an opportunity for you to mix things up a little bit. Maybe you can try shopping at different merchants you hadn't tried before. Maybe you can experiment with some different types of yarn. This could be something where, if you've been using 4-weight acrylic, maybe now is a time to switch it up and try some DK wool, or I'm just using that as examples, but it is a good time for you to experiment and try a few new things out. Maybe you have been hooked on doing certain type of patterns and projects. If you've only been doing blankets, maybe now is a good time for you to test out some wearable patterns. Try some different things, mix it up, stretch yourself just a little bit, and it could be that this is actually an opportunity getting you out of that rut that you may have been in and showing you hey, you have the ability to try harder things or, use finer weight yarns. Could be your opportunity to really shake things up and try some new things and see if it's something you really actually enjoy. So just be careful out there. I want you to keep as much money as possible in your pocket. And I don't want you getting scammed or hurt by any company. Really be super vigilant right now and in the next few months and however long it takes for this whole process to wrap up. And then afterwards, dealing with some of the ramifications as well. Try not to let your emotions get you. Check for validity. Make sure it is safe. Also, one last thing I want to say is be careful about different emails coming in. Always just be wary of links in emails. If it seems slightly suspicious, do a search for it in Google, down in the search bar, things like that, just to make sure you're not accidentally being redirected to one of those scammy sites and not the official Joann site. The people out there doing that are incredibly talented, unfortunately. So We really have to be on our toes right now. I will be having an email come out for my email subscribers very, very shortly here at the beginning of March. So if you want to be signed up for that and you're not already, it is completely free. And I always have a link down in the description box. You go, you sign up. It does send you a confirmation email just to make sure you really did want to sign up for it, but it's completely free. And I just email you one video a month that is exclusive to my email subscribers. So I look forward to talking with you soon. Bye.